Tracy. We're going to make their way over to the pay table. Take a little slice out of there.
Or a big one.
Or a big one.
Yeah, like that big. So now you give that to everyone else. Are you sure?
All right, everybody help me out on the count of 3. Let's help these guys out, all right? On the count of 3, ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's sweet. Give a kiss after that, guys.
Hello. My name's Micah, and I'm Nick's best man, and I'm sorry. So how about that drive-in? I guess that's why I call it Sin City. I'm just kidding. All right. My first impression of Nick was not very good. I was a counselor in training at Camp Bethel for I think 2 weeks before I had any knowledge of Nick's existence. I had fun with my job, but I never quite grew closer to anyone in those 2 weeks. After those first weeks, we traveled to good old Powell, Wyoming to hang out and go to church. When I walked into church, I saw him with his father. They were wearing matching striped shirts. And I immediately did not like Nick. Then after that, I found out that he was going to CIT that next week, and it just fueled some more dislike for Nick. Because I think at the time I was threatened because another male was moving in on my turf. I tried my best to avoid him that first week at camp and give him space so we wouldn't have to talk or have any conflict. But Tim kind of made us wash dishes together. So I did it, dreading it, because I'm a good servant of Jesus Christ. And I tried to avoid Nick. But somehow we started listening to dubstep. And in that, girl staff hated it, but the other male doing dishes loved it. We bonded over the pulsing electronic chaos and the fact that girl staff hated it. Our friendship grew from just dubstep and branched out to different kinds of music. As the summer went on, we spent more and more time together, and we became friends. The last week of that summer, Nick and I had a cabin together during the youngest week of camp. After that, we said our goodbyes and headed out to our senior years of high school. Throughout that year, we kept in touch, and we were intentional to see each other whenever we could. In the spring of our senior year, I traveled to Powell to try out for the soccer team and look at the college. I stayed at Nick's house that night, and we hung out till like 3 o'clock in the morning. It was like a Thursday night, so he had school, I had to try out, then I had to go back to Douglas, which is like 4.5 hours. So it wasn't a good choice. But that night, Nick posed a question to me that would change my life forever. Have you ever seen Star Wars? At that time, I hadn't. So we watched the first 2 episodes of Star Wars that night and fell asleep. And I found the third love of my life that night. If you don't know Nick, he's a hardcore nerd. In our watching of those 2 movies, I was hooked and went home and watched the rest of the saga, texting Nick nonstop, asking him question after question of the things I didn't understand. I became his Padawan. The trend went on through all the Star Wars movies and Lord of the Rings. At this point in our lives, we had met the people that we'd be marrying, but we were secluded from them for most of the summer, that next summer at camp. And then the next 3 summers, we were full-time staff members, and we grew in our friendship. Something I look back on and regret was that we never went to the same college or got to live together as roommates. I traveled to Missouri for school and he came here to Laramie, but it was God's plan for us. Throughout the time we were apart, we come back and pick up right where we left off without missing a beat, and I thank God for keeping him as a big part of my life. I am marrying my beautiful fiancée later this summer, and Nick will be standing right next to me like I did today. Proverbs 18:24 says, "A man who has friends must himself be friendly, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother." For me, this has been Nick. This will be the first summer in 4 years that we will not be at camp or be with each other. I trust that Nick will be fine because he has a partner to fill my place when I'm gone. I'm just kidding. I love Autumn, and I am so glad that she married my best friend. I know they will do great things together in whatever God has planned for their lives. So Autumn, take care of my best friend. He is lucky to have you as a wife, and I hope he never stops cherishing you. Nick, I hope that you are the best man that you can be for your bride, and you will live up to the standard God has laid before us. Love her and cherish her every day of your life. You're the greatest friend I ever had. I love you, buddy.
Now we have our maid of honor, Brittany.
So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Brittany Wilson. Yes, I'm expecting, which just means that either I'll cry or I'll have to run to the bathroom before we're done with this. So Autumn and I first met in early elementary school. We both lived out of town, so we rode the same bus together. And if you live out of town in Wyoming, a radius of 10 miles is always your neighbor. So we grew up as neighbors, and even though our friendship didn't flourish until high school, those long bus rides out to our houses were the foundation of our relationship. Fast forward nearly 10 years to our freshman year of high school, we became best friends through sassiness, soccer, choir, academics, and of course our faith in God, which kept us grounded throughout school and life in general. Over the years, I've learned a lot from Autumn. She's the most kind and genuine and authentic person I've ever met. And I always hope someday those qualities will wear off on me. The compassion and love she extends to those far surpasses that of anyone I've ever met. Sorry. Her heart for others is what truly sets her apart, and it's these qualities, along with the countless others that she has, is what makes her heart even more beautiful than her already breathtaking beauty. I remember when I first heard about Nick, I have to say that I was a bit skeptical. It was the beginning of our senior year of high school, and Autumn had just got back from Camp Bethel with this smug, girlish smile that could only mean one thing. She'd met a boy. And as her best friend, I definitely did my research on Nick through extensive Facebook stalking. Eventually, I concluded my research that just maybe he had the potential to be good enough for my best friend. And as the year went on, they started dating, and I got to know Nick a little better through school dances that he came to, and through the conversations that you two had that Autumn told me about later. That was pretty much all of them, just in case you're wondering. I can't say that there was a specific time that I knew that Nick was right for Autumn, but throughout their relationship, his persistence to pursue her heart, his ability to always make her smile, and the fact that he treats her like the queen she is what convinced me that he was meant for her. I don't think Nick realized when they started dating that he had to put up with me as well. So thanks for always being kind to me, even though I'm dreadfully sassy to you. I have full confidence that you will lead Autumn and your future families in the ways of God, and you will love them just as Christ loves you. I'm so thankful for your influence in Autumn's life, and I'm so thankful to be a small part of your guys' story, and I can't wait to see where the Lord takes you on this journey of marriage. So here's to Autumn and Nick. We love you.
Thank you, Brittany. And now we have Mike and Carrie. Would you like to say a few words?
I think Carrie and I just want to extend our wishes to you and to Autumn, Nick, that you can just move forward with your relationship and take it that next step that you took it today, and that you'll just glorify the Lord through your relationship, and that you'll grow. I really thought that the rope and the braiding of the rope was just a really neat visual, and I hope that people were able to see that. And I really hope that you take that to heart in your marriage. So.
Something that I would say to my children when they would get out of the car every day at school was, may the Lord bless and keep you. May he make his face shine upon you. May he be gracious unto you and give you peace. And, my own addition, keep you safe. I love you guys.
Thank you, Mike and Carrie. And now we have Harold and Amy.
So, I'm not much of a public speaker, most of you know. So I wrote it down, and then Zach's printer didn't work, so I couldn't print it. And so I said, oh, cool, I'll be like the kids. I'll be real cool and put it on my phone. And then my phone wouldn't turn on this morning. So thankfully, my cousin bailed me out here. We opened it on an email and put it on her phone. So super cool. Okay, so if you wonder why I'm reading it to you, that's why. But anyhow, so for Autumn and Nick, I wasn't really ready to write another wedding speech so soon after Zach and Shelby's wedding, which for those of you that don't know, our son got married last summer, so it's 2 and 2 and 2. But and I'm not really ready to see my first daughter married. But Autumn, it seems that when you left home after high school, you really left. There was no more long summers at home, and you were up at camp or off traveling, and just stop by and say hi as you breezed on by. But yet because of what you were doing, serving the Lord up there at camp, and even though we missed you greatly, it wasn't like the severe sadness that a parent has, or the pain when a child is taking risks or going down a good path. We knew she was doing good things. So, but your young life seems more to me like the launch of a great ship that's pulling away from the harbor with a great sense of purpose and mission. I'm sorry. I'm not sad. I'm proud. So just So even though you are heading out to sea, the destination's not clear. But Proverbs 3:5 says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make your paths straight." And it's plain to everyone who knows you that the Lord is central in your lives, both you, and is making your path straight, and I'm really thankful for that. And now, as you move into the next phase of your lives as a married couple, you'll encounter all of the usual challenges that married people face, as well as some things that will be unique to you two. But I'm sure that you'll be able to face them together because you have chosen to make faith top priority in your lives. So as a father, while I'm a little sad to see you all grown up and getting married, I'm more excited to see what good things are going to happen next. To paraphrase another familiar promise from the scriptures, Psalms 1 says, "Blessed is the man whose delight is in the law of the Lord. He shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, and whatever he does shall prosper." You guys have been an amazing example to everyone who knows you, as you've been obedient to the Lord in your relationship to one another, and that's a rare thing in our culture. And so because of these promises, I am full of peace, knowing that your married life will be filled with all kinds of blessings. So, with that, I would like to propose a toast, and as a marriage blessing. May your marriage be blessed by the Lord, and be one that is filled with every good gift from the Spirit. Wherever you go, and whatever you do, I pray that the evidence of the Lord's hand in your lives be obvious to everyone, and that the blessings of love, home, work, and children will be added to your lives. Hear, hear.
Hear, hear.
Thank you, Harold and Amy. Now Nick and Autumn would like to say a few words.
we didn't come near as prepared as everybody else. But we just wanted to tell you guys that we love all of you, both sides, and we're really blessed by how all of you have touched our lives in any capacity. And you're here for a reason. We wanted to celebrate this day with you guys, and we're really glad that you guys could come out, because people are coming from all over the place. And we love you guys.
I love you.
Darling, just dive right in. Follow my lead. I found a girl, beautiful and sweet. I never knew you were the someone waiting for me. 'Cause we were just kids when we fell in love, not knowing what it was. I will not give you up this time. Darling, just kiss me slow. Your heart is all I own, and in your eyes you're holding mine. Baby, I'm dancing in the dark with you between my arms, barefoot on the grass. We're listening to our favorite song. When you said you looked a mess, I whispered underneath my breath, but you heard it. Darling, you look perfect tonight. Well, I found a woman stronger than anyone I know. She shares my dreams. I hope that someday I'll share her home. I found a love to carry more than just my secrets, to carry love, to carry children of our own. We are still kids, but we're so in love, fighting against all odds. I know we'll be alright this time. Darling, just hold my hand, be my girl, I'll be your man. I see my future in your eyes. Baby, I'm dancing in the dark with you between my arms, barefoot on the grass, listening to our favorite song. When I saw you in that dress, looking so beautiful, I don't deserve this. Darling, you look perfect tonight. Baby, I'm dancing in the dark with you between my arms, barefoot on the grass, or listening to our favorite song. I have faith in what I see. Now I know I have met an angel in person, and she looks perfect. I don't deserve this. You look perfect tonight.
Here's your song.
Well, your mama made you pretty and your mama made you sweet. Your daddy gave you daydreams and more cushion in your seat. Your mama gave you those windows to your beautiful soul. Your daddy got more love for you than you could ever know. Oh, oh, you remind me of you. Yes, you do now. You remind me of you. Yes, I do. Bottom, bottom, bottom. Well, your mama made a promise that your daddy's gonna keep. Forever's how long your mama's gonna love you. Your daddy made you messy and your mama made you neat. Forever's how long your daddy gonna love you. Your mama made a clone so she won't be alone when the boys and me are getting so out of control. Oh, oh, you remind me of you. Yes, you do. You remind me of you. Yes, you do. Bottom, bottom, bottom. Yes, I do. Bottom, bottom, bottom. When you cry, when you cry, well, your mom's gonna dry. When you cry, when you cry, well, your mom's gonna dry. And your daddy should gonna try. But only mama's gonna try. But your daddy should've gonna try.
There's a few more couples out there. Don't be shy. Even if you're not married, you're invited to come to the dance floor.